The River State Tax Justice and Governance Platform unveils its project reports that has spanned for 5 years. The Rivers State Coordinator on Tax Justice and Governance Platform, Dr. Kelechi Justice, says his organization has begun a strategic campaign via social media. The campaign is tagged "What's Your TIN Number?" He says the campaign is to encourage citizens compliant to the tax framework. Dr. Justice revealed this during a one-day event by his organization to unveil their project reports that has spanned for 5 years. He says the campaign is targeted to educate citizens to enable them enjoy whatever benefit that is within the new tax framework. Also, to counter some misinformation about the tax reform that is being presented by some content creators online.
Today we called our partners together, people from the diverse audience, the private sector, civil society actors, media, youth groups like the Students' Task Club in our tertiary institutions in Rivers State, to share our project report that spanned about 5 years between 2021 to 2025 on the Power of Voices Partnerships Fair for All projects, funded by Oxfam in Nigeria, facilitated by the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Network, no Advocacy Center, sorry, CISLAC, and implemented by Community Conciliation and Development Initiative, which is the anchor organization for the Rivers State Tax Justice and Governance Platform. First of all, we were, at the center of the reform process through our national secretariat as the Tax Justice and Governance Platform Secretariat in Abuja. We contributed to the tax reform, the policy changes that were captured in the Tax Act 2025. And so we still feel that it is our responsibility as a network or platform to also see that all the provisions of the Act will be implemented by the government. So we'll continue to play an active role as a watchdog, as monitors of the tax administration system in Nigeria, which we've been doing for over or close to a decade now. So it is our expectation that they would have set up the right structures, and we're seeing some of those moves, the setting up of implementation committee and the presidency at that level. So we want to see that at the state level too, there are some kind of structures, at the state level to support that process of implementation. So as civil society organizations, we are also embarking on tax education for citizens, for individuals, groups, and corporate citizens. And one of such actions we are already taking is the Show Your TIN Number campaign. What's Your TIN Number campaign? So we started that on social media. We're making sure that we're educating citizens to go and get their TIN number to enable them, enjoy whatever benefits are there within the new tax framework, and to also make them tax compliant so that they'll be responsible and responsive citizens.
He says low-income earners will pay little or nothing within the tax reform.
We're engaged in tax education. We're sensitizing, different groups in River State on the importance of getting their TIN number, and we're also countering certain kind of misinformation about the tax law or act, tax act, so to speak, because you have content creators, you know, dishing out information that are not true, they are not really correct, as it relates to the new Tax Act 2025. So, and what we've also done is to encourage tax professionals and tax agencies in Rivers State to go and occupy that space and not to leave the space for less qualified or professional people who don't have the competencies to speak on taxation or to educate the people. Because when that happens, most people will be misinformed, as we're already experiencing, that people tend to believe that they will suffer a whole lot of tax incidents in 2026, and that is not actually the case, because you have a situation now where low income people will be paying very little or no tax. If your income threshold per annum is less than 800,000, it means you won't be paying income tax. And if you're a company, that's a business, and if your threshold, your turnover threshold is less than 100 million, you also will not pay company income tax. So these are some of the benefits, including the tax deductions people will get from education, maybe bills on education, pharmaceuticals, rent, so you have these deductions before you can actually calculate if you qualify to pay or what you're supposed to pay.
He used the medium to inform business operators in the state that the management of Rivers State Internal Revenue Service have designated a desk in their office to redress issues concerning illegal and multiple taxation.
We've been at the forefront of addressing issues of illegal and multiple taxation. We've also been at the forefront of receiving complaints from citizens and directing them on how to go about seeking redress. As part of our advocacy talking points or agenda, or mandates rather, when we engage with River State, the executive chairman of River State Internal Revenue Service, we made these complaints to this. We express these concerns that a lot of people are out there, on the streets collecting illegal and multiple taxes from small businesses that can hardly survive. So that we want them to have a system of, grievance redress mechanism, So that he promised that they had committed to, and since after that advocacy engagement with him, they've dedicated a front desk at their office for people to come and complain, for people to come and seek information on what their tax obligations are, what to pay, and where to pay it. Also, you will also recall that as part of one of our advocacy goals was to strengthen the already existing digital services rendered by the River State Internal Revenue Service. So at some point, I think that was in September 12th or 18th, they launched another, a USSD code to enable more people pay their taxes. So you don't need an Android phone. If you have a phone, if you just have a phone, a mobile phone, you can pay your tax and you'll be receipted. You'll be receipted, having paid online, through your USSD code. That's star 5224 hash. That's the code for River State. But for us at the level of the Tax Justice and Governance platform, we think it's a progressive legislation and government policy to harmonize, our tax regime and to end, components like road and haulage taxes across, the federation, because these are some of the things that contribute to high prices of food in our communities, when people need to pay taxes at different points just to convey products from one point to the other. That impact cost of food and living, which adds to the high inflationary rate in the country. So that's one, and being more specific. The law, the Tax Act is more specific on what the federation is supposed to collect, what the states are supposed to collect, and what the local government councils are going to collect. So that's, the segregation of taxes and rates that should be collected by the different strata of government is key to, progressive and fair taxation, and also ending illegal and multiple taxation in Nigeria.